The next step is to put it into the mouth. So first of all, we'll take the cherry flavored because it makes a nice gum color and place it into Linnea's mouth like this. Just keep pressing it until it wraps over all the upper teeth and up under the lip line. Dick Smith, one of the all-time greats in makeup, actually invented this technique using chewing gum and peanuts. So you can see there's all kinds of variations. And now you've got some brand new scary monster gums. Next, we'll put the fangs in. So take the lemon flavor, press in some, roll them up into some nice, scary, pointed monster fangs, and it's a simple matter from that point to just stick them on where you like them. I always find that if you leave a lot of gum showing when you're making monster dentures, it looks a little bit scarier because animals always show a lot of gums when they're in a frightening mood. So have fun with it. You know, in a lot of today's movies, graphic violence plays a role that's just as important as the lead actors. Have you ever wondered how your favorite stars get lit on fire? Shot with arrows? Or even beat over the head? Well, there's really nothing to it. And there's a lot of simple tricks like these you can do right at home. For example, let's look at a common, everyday household slashing. Linnea, would you like to demonstrate? Wow, that's a good one. All you've got to do is go down to your neighborhood locksmith and have him grind down a knife so it's really dull. Then just glue a tube to the back. Now, just fill a squeeze bulb with fake blood and tape it to the handle. Then just pump as you slash. It's as simple as that. I guess this knife needed just a little more grinding. Just mix up the gelatin with hot water according to directions, and then make sure you let it cool a little bit before you apply it to the skin, and you're ready to go. Just apply the gelatin in the area of the wound, and make sure you keep the edges of the wound thinned down a little bit, so that it looks as though you're building up a deeper area toward the middle. Let it dry for a few minutes, and then add some powder. That keeps it from sticking to itself, because if it sticks to itself, it'll ruin it. Brush off the excess. And all that's left now is a little paint. So, start out with some deep red and black. That'll give you a nice illusion of depth. The next thing we need to do now is make the gelatin actually look like part of Linnea's neck. So, we'll put a little flesh color paint on it. Now I'm just going to model it up a little bit with some purples and blues for bruises, and yellow. You should never forget the yellow. Well, that looks pretty good for a quickie. Yeah, I know, we'll add some safety pins for a really gruesome effect. And make sure those safety pins are razor sharp, because if they're not, you might ruin your makeup. Now we'll add one last pin. Oh! Well, I guess you better forget the pens. Syrup and tissue paper. Step 1, paint up your face as quickly as you can with some ordinary cake makeup. We want to try to accentuate the bone structure a little bit. It'll give you a nice hollowed out look. Next we'll move in for some fine detail with the brush. It's really important to follow the natural bone structure. Make sure you darken the eye sockets appropriately, because every zombie has really sunken eyes. Okay, here we go. Now we're ready for the tissue and the corn syrup. So I'm going to tear this. First of all, I've torn the paper towel. It was a 2-ply towel. I tore it into a single thickness. And I'm making it very irregular so it won't stand out as easily as if you put a straight piece on. Next, I'll just dip it in the old corn syrup. Nice and saturated. So you kind of squeeze a little of it off. Start laying it on. It's important to remember to push it into nice wrinkle patterns as you lay it on before it dries. Okay, when you get the whole face covered and started to dry a little bit, now's when you can really have some fun with it. You can start to push the tissue around and form much better wrinkle patterns. Another fun thing you can do is actually lift off areas and create open, gaping sores and loose flaps of flesh. Just get it as horrifying as you can stand it. Now we're going to paint in a few of the sores we just created. Finally, we get to the hair. Now, we've mixed up a concoction of flour and water, some really slimy stuff to really appropriately gunk up the hair. Oh yeah, as an important side note, you really need to keep your makeup area clean, because if you don't, you never know what kind of mistakes you might make. So here we go. There we go. Just knead it right in, kids. Hey! I don't remember it ever getting this sticky before. Can't get my finger out. I don't remember this stuff being this sticky.